If you think that the directions to your bad area are not good enough, or the show promoter could provide you with better signage to get to your area, ask them to do one of two things. Make better signs or make announcements over the PA system. Those are two things that a show promoter can do immediately to help remedy your sales. It is best if everyone else in your area also makes the same suggestion. Show promoters can have signs made literally in moments. There are sign makers at the decorators company that can turn around a sign in 4 or 5 hours if necessary, or at least by tomorrow morning. You cannot afford, if the show promoter hasn't done an adequate job of signage, often they do not know until you say so. Don't wait till the last day to say so. Get it fixed quick. No show promoter wants an unhappy group of exhibitors. Bad enough to have one exhibitor unhappy, but no show promoter wants an unhappy group of exhibitors just because of an oversight. Yes?
What is the average space size for a trade show?
The average space size is a 10 by 10 foot booth. That is an average. Very often you find 8 foot by 10 foot booths, depending on the hall and the way that the hall lays out. You should design your booth based on 1 foot on each side less than that. And the reason why you do that is because the drapery between each of the booths has a footing that is about this wide. So it's going to cut 6 inches off of each side of your booth. So if you're working with a 10 by 10 booth, plan your booth to be something like 9 by 9.
Or else shove that footing in your neighbor's booth.
You really can't do that very easily. If everybody does that.
Which is what happens when you're the last person at the show setting up, and everybody has shoved it.
That's very true. The early bird gets the best amount of space, of course. Make sure also that you do show up on time. If you do not show up on time, with a trade show, you will probably receive an assigned time for showing up. You will be told 8:15 is your loading time. If you get there at 8:30, you can't get to the dock. They've already unrolled the carpet and won't let you bring a dolly through. You'd be surprised at the trouble involved if you show up a few hours late for your appointed time to a trade show. Everything is orchestrated moment by moment. The labor is planned and everything's orchestrated. And if you show up 6 hours late, you have to plan on carrying in each box individually by hand late at night very often. Every February, we have somebody who's coming through a snowstorm. And there is a dozen or 2 dozen people that can't get to the show right on time. And we leave a list of them with the security guard so that they can sign in at 2 a.m. and be ready to go by 10 a.m. in the morning. And they work through the night. Yes?
The mechanics of unloading, do I understand correctly, at your show, okay, I arrive with my van, someone takes my boxes, puts them on some mechanism, drops them at my booth, and from there it's my
Probably not.
responsibility.
No. Normally in New York or Chicago, that's the way it would happen. Because I purchased all labor in a package, there may be helpers there to help you with your own dolly, or maybe with theirs.
Okay.
But then again, there may not be. We request that everyone bring their own dolly and be prepared to unload their own work. We want you to be able to work transparently, just as if you were at a retail fair, and not be encumbered by union labor. Very often it's a real cultural shock for craftspeople to have to deal with union labor.
One of the shows
That'll be edited out, by the way. Yes.
In the ones that you were talking about in New York or Chicago, where carpenters show up at your space to construct your booth,
Now, it's only if your booth requires anything more than unfolding. If you have a freeze-dried booth and all you do is add water, or if you have a booth that just is a panel that unfolds and hinges in some way, shape, or form, I think you've seen them probably in the airplane magazines, the ones that just kind of go whoop and stretch out. Those booths you are allowed to put together. If you get out a mallet for abstracta, the union will claim often that that is under their jurisdiction because it requires a tool. However, if you use your shoe, it's still a tool. However, my experience is when you've got a craft show with 800 out of the 1,200 exhibitors using abstracta, the unions go up to you and they say, "Can you please give me the blueprint plans for your booth so that I can erect it for you?" And you go, "Blueprint plans? Gosh, I never thought to make blueprint plans of my booth. I do it this way. Bump, 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 bump. We put 4 cubes there and 4 cubes there." And then the labor union representative will say, "Okay," and he'll start playing with the abstracta. And about 10 minutes later, he'll say, "I've got to go to the bathroom." Or, "I need a mallet for this. I'm going to go get my own mallet from the stockroom." They'll never come back, ever. Labor unions hate abstracta. They will demand to the day they die that they have jurisdiction over it. However, they do not want to play with tinker toys. That is not their job. However, they do have jurisdiction over it. So if you have something that is tinker toy related, an assembled booth of that kind, if someone comes over and requests the opportunity to help you, let them go right ahead and help you. Yes?
Having not attended or participated in a trade show in 15 years now,
Right.
What do you see as the average display costs? And are there display companies that are more preferable to use in that arena as far as not having to deal with the unions and setup?
Yes. I have a book here that lists all kinds of vendors. There are booths now that are just wall backgrounds that you can hang things off of, that you can put great graphics on and all kinds of wonderful things. They're wall units that break down into something the size of a set of golf clubs. You can fly with them anywhere. They cost anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000, but they last forever, and they don't have to be painted and repainted and repainted, and they don't have to be, that kind of thing. There are also Velcroable booths. That's what I have for Tokyo. They're nice little wall panels with Velcro on every side, and you just take them like building blocks, and you can make pedestals, and you can make walls, and you can make wonderful things with them.